Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the Paladin legendaries, Covenant specific legendaries for 9.1, obviously focusing mostly on Retribution, but I'll have some comments for some other stuff as well. We're going to kind of go Night Fae and Necrolord first, because like pretty much very low amount of Paladins play that, especially Rep Paladins. Then we will do Venthyr, and then we'll do Kyrian. So Night Fae one, this is the only one that's relevant on this page, because this is like the one that hasn't been reiterated since this point. So we have Seasons of Plenty. Casting Blessing of Summer or Blessing of Winter grants Solstice to you and up to 4 allies, so like a party, increasing haste by 5% and increasing cooldown recovery by 10% for 10 seconds. So this is definitely a cool little legendary there. There's no doubt about it. But it's basically like a utility legendary, so you're buffing your group. You'll probably, if you were using this one, there'd probably be people in your group that get more benefit from it than you do. But it is an interesting legendary for sure. Cooldown recovery is always good for sure as well. Maybe when you can wear 2 legendaries, you could do some other stuff with this, maybe with like Mad Paragon or something like that. But as of now, this one is not going to be very enticing for Retribution. Like in this patch, people aren't going to switch Covenants for this. Like this one legendary isn't going to make them switch Covenants. What I could see happening is in some like Mythic Plus groups, though, this could be used to kind of buff the already stronger stuff. So Fire Mages, like things that don't have an AoE cap and whatnot. So I could see it being used in Mythic Plus because of the 5-man potential of it. But other than that, I don't see this being factoring in very heavily. Obviously, I think that's what the devs had in mind, but that's why it's literally restricted to your party and not like casting something, not just the person you cast it on, not your entire raid, just your party. I think that has a lot to do with it, and it would be pretty cool to use Mythic Plus. Honestly, it's not a bad legendary. It's just not going to cause Rat to give up the damage of Divine Toll, or give up the damage slash like utility helpfulness of Ashen Hollow. I don't think so. That's my prediction on the Night Fae one, is that it probably won't be used, even though it's kind of cool and it's kind of useful. There's no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and go to Necrolord now. Necrolord 1, we have Duty Bound Gavel. So Vanquisher's Hammer gains 1 charge, an additional charge, and additional cast of Templar's Verdict is empowered. And then it does different things for Prot and Holy. So that's what that one does. And so my issue with this one is it so yeah, it gains a charge. So it's almost trying to be like Divine Toll in a way. So you're empowering a Templar's Verdict. Well, that's what Judgment does, right? Now maybe this empowers it more, but that's basically what Judgment does in general. So Judgment empowers your next Holy Power spender. This gains a charge. So instead of having, a regular Judgment and then a Divine Toll Judgment, this would be, you have a regular Judgment and you have 2 Vanquish Your Hammer Judgments. But so it's in essence, it's trying to be kind of like Divine Toll. So people have speculated, well, maybe you could run Execution Sentence and Final Reckoning into this, which is possible. But the problem is that you're wearing this legendary just to equal just to try to equal. You're not even equaling it. You're just getting close to like the Kyrian. But then Kyrian people get to wear legendaries too. So then Kyrian gets to wear Magister's Judgment or whatever over top of it. So it is a step in the right direction. It's clearly better. It clearly makes it better. But again, I don't think it's going to be optimal to use it. So I don't think it's going to get much use. Maybe for PvP or something, because just for the reason being that I could see Divine Toll being nerfed more in PvP, and then having the defensive ability of Necrolord is quite strong. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and go to the Venthyr one. Venthyr, we have Radiant Embers. Ashen Hollow's duration is increased by 50%. Leaving the hallowed area will end the effect, and its cooldown will be reduced by up to 50%, proportional to its remaining duration. So basically, your Ashen Hollow lasts much longer, 45 seconds, and if you have to leave it because it is such a long time to be in one spot, you do get your cooldown reduced. So you can also run out of it on purpose to reduce the cooldown. So like if you only need it for 35 seconds, you'd run out, and you're running out anyways, you just run out of it. Make sure you're out of it even ahead of time. and get the cooldown reduction that you need for the next time where you want to pop it. So that's a cool little way to play with Ashen Hollow. It also just, even if you do get to stand still, like on a complete, patchwork boss, 45 seconds is a long time for Ashen Hollow. So it's a really cool legendary in general. The more Ashen Hollow, the better, right? And it pairs, it would pair very good with the Mad Paragon. However, you have to choose one legendary as of now. So I don't see this being used over Mad Paragon for Venthyr, because I think it will either be a null thing or I don't know. We'll see. It is a strong legendary, but I feel like Mad Paragon's still probably going to edge it out. Now, this is obviously one that you would like to use both of them, right? So going forward, this could be a very potent combination going forward. So we will look to that. I am looking for an excuse to go Venthyr at some point, just to try out Ashen Hollow a little bit more on a non-alt character. But as of now, I don't think this is going to do it, but I do think this is like a really, really cool legendary. I think if somehow you could get Ashen Hollow up like most of the time. So in 8.3 we had corruption, and if you stack this one corruption, you could basically have wings up all the time. I thought that was actually really cool gameplay. It wasn't the best DPS output, but it was actually really cool gameplay. And I think it'd be really cool if you could have Ashen Hollow up for, not all the time. You wouldn't want to have it up for, you would want to have it up for 4 minutes, but that's not realistic. But if you could have it up for like a minute or 2 minutes somehow through like combinations of legendaries and whatnot, that would be pretty cool. That would be a very, very strong ability. Kind of an end of an expansion fun thing, but I think the more Ashen Hollow, the better, frankly. It's a really cool ability. And then let's get into Kyrian. This is what most people play. So let's talk about Divine Resonance. After casting Divine Toll, you instantly cast every 5 seconds. So the reason why it's worded that way is it's probably based on what spec you are. So for Ret, it would say you instantly cast Judgment every 5 seconds. This effect lasts 30 seconds. Inventory type, just waste. It doesn't matter. And then, so this is actually really cool. So this is just giving you more judgments and more empowered Templar's Verdicts, right? Or Final Verdicts. Well, when you can wear 2 legendaries, possibly Final Verdicts. So this is giving you more empowered Holy Power Spenders, basically. Or, yeah, I mean, Divine Storm too. But so you have the Judgment up, you use your ability, then you have Divine Toll's Judgment as well, and then you're pumping into your execution sentence, let's say, and then every 5 seconds, so you're going to get another Judgment cast. So you will want to play around this, so you don't overdo your Holy Power. You don't want to have 6 Holy Power at any point, because that's not possible. So you'd want to play around with that, but it basically would just empower yourself. So we talked about this with Necrolord, where it's empowering your Templar's Verdict. Well, this would basically be doing the same thing. So this legendary and the Necrolord one are not too dissimilar, honestly. Other than the ability it's modifying is just better. Divine Toll is just better ability. But yeah, it's very similar in that way, and why I think everyone's probably going to stay Kyrian. This is going to be a strong legendary. I don't necessarily. I think this will probably be pretty close with like Magister's Judgment and stuff like that. It'll just depend, honestly. It'll depend on how perfect you can do your rotation and everything. I would like to see this simmed. I know it's hard because I think it is in the game, but I think it was bugged maybe to where it was every time Judgment cast, it like pushed back your cooldown of Divine Toll. So it was like making your Divine Toll not line up correctly. I hope that was a bug. I assume it was a bug. But if not, then it's really not that good of a legendary. So if you look forward, though, obviously, if you compare this with Magister's Judgment, it becomes extremely strong, because the wording is very important. You're casting Judgment. So just like so the Magister's Judgment ring would work with this in theory, and yeah. That's quite powerful. So you're getting a free Holy Power from the Judgment. You're getting the Judgment debuff, and then you'd possibly be reducing Holy Power costs by 1 with the Magister's Judgment ring. So going forward, unfortunately, it looks like if we're ever going to get 2 legendaries, not unfortunately, I mean, you can just like being Kyrian, but it looks like going forward, if we ever do get 2 legendaries, pairing Divine Resonance with Magister's Judgment could be quite powerful. Now, of course, huge caveat to put in is, you know, we don't know for sure until everything is simulated. But as of now, it honestly looks like things pretty much are staying status quo for us. Some of these legendaries are in fact cool. I'm definitely going to make the divine, since I'm carrying already, I'm going to make the divine resonance one and have it ready to go either way. But it's, you know, it's cool, and it definitely sets it up to be it kind of feels like it's going to be, you can wear one regular legendary and one covenant legendary at a time, and that kind of seems like how they're headed for it, and that way everybody can use their covenant legendary even if it's not the best one. So that's kind of how I see it going. Don't see much changes, unfortunately. Still want to do this video, and of course once 9.1 comes out, I'll have any updates to the original 9.0 Rep Paladin video. Every patch I update just the stuff that changes and what's better now and whatnot. So the biggest changes now, when I first made the video, I think it was a little bit closer between Venthyr and Kyrian, and now it's, like I said, like 90% Kyrian. So that's quite a big change. So I probably will be, unless one of these legendaries gets changed and does something massively different to cause people to switch covenants, yeah, probably be focusing a lot more on the Kyrian going forward until that changes. So that's about it for this video. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.